There's a lot unusual about your speech, Liz, but we're going to take off.
9 years.
Gang, what's up? Aaron here, Kennedy and Looney. What a frustrating evening in the House of Commons. Liz May, right up until the last minute, acted like she was going to vote against this budget. But like the con woman, sellout hack, career politician, loser, drunk, she just keeps going. Did we show the drunk piece yet? We'll maybe leave that to the end. Let's watch her here with CBC hack journalist, fake reporter David Cochrane making a mockery of what just happened to our country. David Cochrane is as low as they come, gang. Let's get into this.
We're going to bring in now
Hey, that's something everyone can enjoy.
Leader Elizabeth May, who slipped into third chair here while me and Rosie were talking. She's here with me in the foyer of the House.
My long-term ambition has been to co-host with both of you, so all my dreams have come true today.
Nice. Well, here you are. Well, look, you said after you asked the Prime Minister a question period today that you would be voting in favor of the budget.
Correct.
What was it specifically in that answer from Mark Carney? Because these were things we've heard the Liberals commit to in the past. I didn't hear much new from the Prime Minister. What was it that got you to yes?
Those were new words for me to hear from Prime Minister, the Right Honourable Mark Carney. I've heard them from Liberals, but I have been waiting, and it made me extremely...
It looks like her face is falling off.
Nervous. Why would the Prime Minister not commit to the legally binding Paris commitment targets? You saw the dance and the evasion of the questions for weeks leading up to the budget, including saying, well, I believe in results, not objectives. And so I'm not going to go back over that terrain, but for me, there was a clear commitment to the Paris Agreement, to climate action, and not just to the targets, but to achieving them. That's critical. And also to, of course, to reconciliation and to the nature agenda. These were such glaring absences in the budget that I was still reeling from that. I don't like the lot about the budget. There's no question. I've never loved every budget. But in this case, I think I'm doing the responsible thing.
Okay, what Mark Carney said in question period was, I can confirm to the House that we will respect our Paris commitments for climate change, and we're determined to achieve them. But he's also canceled the consumer carbon tax, which has put a hole in the emissions plan, and the budget makes clear the emissions cap on oil and
How's David's pink eye doing?
gas. If it's not dead, it is on life support and may never see the light of day. So words are one thing, actions and policies are another, and the actions have been to get rid of policies that were until recently core parts of hitting our Paris targets as a country.
Absolutely. That was my first question in question period this spring to the Minister of Environment, Julie DeBruzen. Your government's first actions on climate are to remove the only policy tools that were working. When will we see a plan for what replaces it? Now we know at least we have a commitment from the Prime Minister, and I take him as a man of his word and as a person of integrity. Sure. He's taken the personal stand now very clearly that passing this budget includes with it the commitment to the Paris Agreement, to achieving those targets, to delivering on the agenda on nature, which a lot of viewers may not know about. But these were substantive.
There's a housing crisis and a crime wave crisis, inflation crisis, grocery price crisis. Like, Liz May cares about the Paris Accord. Again, who do you think funded this bullshit Green Party?
Commitments. And we're in a time where I think Canadians want to see us as parliamentarians in a minority parliament pull together and trust each other enough to say, good, let's work together and do those things.
Okay, so you want him to meet the Paris targets, but you said in the scrum you gave after after question period that this is not a blank check. The Liberals can't count on you to vote for them.
He's got pink eye.
Every time. The next deadline for the Paris targets is 2030.
That's right.
Gross.
So how do you hold him to the words he spoke today? If we're not going to know if he was true to his word until 2030.
Well, the 2030 target was actually Stephen Harper's target. The 2035 target is the one that we're currently operating under, not to parse the language. It's a really bad record for any Liberals to defend that we're not on track to meet Stephen Harper's target for 2030. But what's critical is that we hold to as far below 2 degrees as possible, which means every fraction of a degree of global heating we avoid will save millions of lives. Hitting our 2035 targets is critical. And I know that with not using all the same tools that have been discarded and are now lying in either a trash bin or a recycling bin, there are other tools that can be used to meet those targets.
Right, so the tool they seem to be relying on, certainly in the budget, is as a strengthened and more robust industrial carbon price. And I spoke with Dave Sawyer from the Canadian Climate Institute last week on the show, I believe it was, and he made clear you can do this if you really commit to the industrial carbon pricing and make that work in a robust and muscular way. You listened to question period in there. Every question was about from the Conservatives was about inflation and the cost of everything going up and blaming the industrial carbon price. You have Alberta, which has frozen its industrial carbon price. Saskatchewan, which is not imposing one. So to do this, it's going to require a feat of federalism that we haven't seen since Justin Trudeau got the premiers together to agree the carbon tax. And look where that is.
Or use other tools other than very convoluted market mechanisms. The pricing for carbon, yes, it's the most economically efficient way to reduce greenhouse gases, and that's the first thing that the Carney government canceled, largely based on the fact that the sloganeering by the Conservatives seemed to create the false impression that actually consumer carbon pricing was in any way contributing to inflation. I can't roll that back. That got done.
Right, but the industrial carbon pricing is a new target.
But there are other tools, and we are not talking about them. So what I hope to have done in making my decision that the responsible thing is A, Canadians don't want an election, B, as the way things were shaping up today, I thought we could have one by accident. We don't know where the votes are. You were talking earlier about, never mind, not going back into all that. My responsible decision, as I described myself earlier as a very cranky grandmother, is I need to see my government committed to reducing greenhouse gases fast enough to avoid going above 2 degrees Celsius global average temperature increase. That's our Paris target. To get there, we need to do things differently, and it means new tools, different toolkit than what we have now discarded. There are other ways to reduce emissions other than complicated market mechanisms.
But where are the Liberals showing you they're looking at other tools in their new toolkit? Because if you look at the major projects agenda, it's not that. I mean, there are new fossil fuel subsidies in this budget, right? There is a tax incentive for low carbon LNG, if you reduce your carbon
it's
on
not
the production
low carbon,
side.
But anyway.
On the production side.
Yes.
I take your point on the downstream emissions if you burn it. So there is that. And there is the talk of the industrial carbon price scheme being boosted up, but there's no other new mechanism. I mean, there's methane and things, but those are things that we've been talking about for a while.
All I can say, David, is I had to make a decision, and it was pretty clear. It was a yay, a nay, or
abstain.
And when I got what I had been negotiating, which was a clear commitment that what was in the budget wasn't enough, that on these 3 areas of nature, commitments to protecting Canada's nature, and working to expand Indigenous reconciliation and deliver on the Paris targets, that work is not done based on the fact that the Prime Minister spoke those words. I have to embark in a minority parliament in a cooperative way that's built on trust to deliver what I think Canadians want to see, which is a degree of trust right now.
Look, and I appreciate the unusual situation we're all in, but are you voting more as a final point, Elizabeth May, to avoid an election, or because you like the overall direction of the budget? Because you're voting for a budget with a fossil fuel subsidy in it.
I don't like the budget primarily. I am voting primarily because if I don't hear from my government that we're committed to reducing greenhouse gases and fast to meet our Paris Agreement targets, it means I'm leaving. I don't want to leave this. I'm not going to shuffle off this mortal coil and leave my 1-year-old granddaughter to find out how much I failed her after I'm dead and gone.
Quit being
I'm gonna
dramatic, you
fight. So today is not over on the fight. Today is a day for saying, thank you, Prime Minister. Now, please, can we work together and find the tools that deliver on the target?
I know you say your constituents want you to do this, but what about the party? Is that a tougher herd of cats to pull together?
Well, I love my Green Party colleagues, and I have been meeting extensively with my shadow cabinet, with key leading candidates like Mike Morris and Kitchener Centre. We are not scared of going into an election, but I know Canadians want responsible people to help them avoid an election. Right now, my goal is to make sure that when the Greens do go into an election with a newly elected leader and great candidates across the country, my political goal as party leader is to make sure we win a lot of seats. My personal goal as a moral grown-up human being is to fight like hell for my granddaughter's future.
Okay. Elizabeth May, we'll leave you there. Thanks so much. That's Green Party leader.
She's an old
Elizabeth May
drunk.
voting yes on the budget, cutting the number of opposition votes.
David Cochrane is as low as they come
Thanks so
in
much.
journalism. Well, gang, that was pretty disgusting to watch. Elizabeth May is repulsive to me. When I watched her cowardice and the lead into this, because I knew she was going to turn traitor. She always hates Canadians. Who do you think funds her party? Do you think the Green Party is funded by taxpayers or by some outside other organization? Her face is falling off her skeleton. She's an old drunk that was never worth a penny in the first place. Liz May, I don't mean to go so hard, except you're a skank whore like two Canadians. And everything that you've ever done since you got your big lawyer degree, and you're so proud of that. You're a repulsive person. You're not patriotic. You're the you're the opposite of what patriotism is. That's it. I'm trying to keep it light here, guys. Liberal voters, like, if you haven't seen what went down today in the House of Commons, you should check out some of my other videos, learn something, like, about what happens in frontline politics. To the rest of the regular crowd, thank you so much for watching. Nothing but the best for you. Like, it's a very frustrating time here in Canada. Like, I watch so much of the frontline politics, it's hard to be second guessing what your thoughts really are. The Liberals are a facade, a dupe, a corrupt bunch of cabinet ministers looking to destroy the future of Canadians to line their pocketbooks with your tax-paying money. They're going to launder that out to Christie over there. She flew over to Ukraine on her broom, and now she's going to steal billions of Canadians' tax-paying dollars for some war that the Ukraine is going to lose. There's no doubt about that, unless NATO gets involved, and then that's World War III. Who wants that? Chrystia Freeland on her broom in Ukraine laundering your money does. It's a crazy time in the world. It's changed so much. Information is so accessible. I don't know what else to say. I'm really disappointed in Liz May. She's a troll who should just retire and figure that she got away with it, because she's a criminal too. Like, who do you think funds the Green Party? Your tax-paying dollars? Maybe, but I'm guessing it's money coming in from the outside to divide, distract, dissuade Canadians from any reasonable thought that this you could ever pick up outside the legacy media. I've got a bunch of channels here I'd like to mention that I do enjoy watching. I don't get a chance to watch them very often, but I highly respect the work they do. Moose and the Loose. David, you're great. There's this guy Elevate, and I like his channel quite a bit. There's a young woman, Jasmine Lane, that is great. Her stuff it wouldn't be the first stuff I click on, but I'm glad that there's somebody out there making content like the stuff she makes. Taxpayer Federation, I love that channel. Canadian Taxpayer, I love that channel too. There's a number of them. Anyhow, Aaron, Canadian Looney, like, share, subscribe. Trying to get the message out. Two good old Canadian patriots that still believe in this country before they want to separate. Like, what are you going to separate to? What is your... It makes no sense to... Like, I can understand the gut reaction to be like, Alberta's going to leave. Look at how that reflects on on Quebec. Like, they've been crying about that since Confederation, and it looks like they're a bunch of bitches. Like, are you going to start your own language out there in Alberta? Like, whatever. Yes, bye, now bye. Oh, no, that's Newfoundlandese. Maybe they can start their own country. Who knows what happens next? It's such a crazy time. I don't mean to seem agitated. Liz May got me all fired up earlier tonight because she is a sack of shit. She is a hoser, loser, drunk old bitch, waste of skin and blood. Like, what a coward she is. And then speaks from her podium like she has something smart to say. Let's see how smart she is in this one. We're going to wrap it up on this. This will be fun. I'm glad you kept watching. This is amazing.
Hey, that's something everyone can enjoy.
I didn't use up my time. No, you didn't. There's a lot unusual about your speech, Liz, but we're going to take off now.
9 years. Okay. I gotta calm down. It's been 9 years. And we wonder, at first I thought, he doesn't show up because he's shy. He doesn't know how to do jokes. He has no music to do. But, maybe he doesn't like to be among, qu'est-ce que tu peux exprimer les... Maybe he doesn't like to be with humans.
Everyone has an opinion about Canadian federal politics.
Oh, yeah.
We went pretty hard in the paint on MP Liz May. She's the leader of the Green. We went really hard on her this week. Shot my mouth off. But now I'm going to show you in context where that comes from. Because there's a reason. I'm fed up with these politicians, but they have secrets they don't want told. Anyways, this is one of Liz May's. She's a glug, guys. Like, she has no control over herself when she gets on the bottle. Let's take a look. It's hysterical. She's out of control.
Merci. What can I say about such generous praise? I want to start by saying, here we stand in what used to be the Museum of Civilization, and I stand as a British Columbian Member of Parliament from Coast Salish Territory, Haishka, and I'm standing in front of longhouses of Haida, New Chalmers. I mean, and here we are, like, has anyone bothered to mention, I am honored to stand on the traditional territory of the Algonquin Nation. Thank you, Miigwech. And since Perry Bellegarde is here, I want to mention we stand on his traditional territory too. And I want to say, like, what the fuck was wrong with the rest of you? You didn't notice we're standing on traditional territory. Like, what doesn't scream out First Nations about this stage? Well, anyway, the rant endeth here. I'm here and honored to be here among my colleagues, allowed to speak when you all want to go home. I stand having missed my girlfriends, Megan Leslie, born in Ontario, representing Nova Scotia, and Lisa Raitt, born in Nova Scotia, representing Ontario. But really, that would have been my fun moment, but they don't let me in on that. I don't know why. I keep begging, Lisa, Megan, what can I do? I want to be a backup girl, do-up. Anyway, I have very little time to share with you what must be important, which is to say, we've now heard from only 3 of us as federal party leaders, but there are 4 of us. You know, voici les 4 chefs des partis au niveau fédéral. Et la question clé, c'est que lesquels ce n'est pas comme les autres, comme des autres. Peut-être tout le monde pense immédiatement de Stephen Harper, parce qu'il est le chef qui n'était pas ici. Toujours, il n'est pas ici. Et jamais participé aux le grand soirée des journalistes parlementaires. Now, when he first didn't come to Parliamentary Press Gallery dinner, and I have to admit, having way before I was in politics, when I was at Sierra Club, I paid attention to the Parliamentary Press Gallery dinner. It never occurred to me that we would have a prime minister who didn't show up, right? It's been 9 years. Okay, I've got to calm down. It's been 9 years. And we wonder, at first I thought, he doesn't show up because he's shy. He doesn't know how to do jokes. He has no music to do. But maybe he doesn't like to be among, qu'est-ce que tu peux exprimer? Maybe he doesn't like to be with humans. But the thing is, now we know that's not true. He can do funny. He can do music, and he still doesn't show up. I don't get it, I really don't. I mean, he should be here. That's what prime ministers do. They show up to be humiliated like the rest of us schmucks. So I've begun to think about it, and I thought about, I really appreciate, by the way, thank you, Press Gallery, thank you for returning to our traditional origins. I thought, well, maybe he's afraid of the tradition. You know the tradition. The flying bread roll, the jettisoning of baked goods. Maybe he suffers from a really significant, extreme manifestation of gluten intolerance. But I think, yeah, there's got to be a closet here somewhere. You know, he doesn't have to face that all by himself. So it's, despite the fact that Stephen Harper isn't here, it's not of Stephen Harper whom I speak. Which of us as leaders is not like the other? So, okay, I meant me, because there's a couple of things about me that are different. I'm going to go fast, because last year I mentioned I'm the oldest. You know that now. I'm the oldest one. I think you know this, but I'm also the only leader with artificial parts. You do know this. I don't mean my boobs. I mean my hips. My hips are both artificial. The right side has a consumer malfunction part. The security guards, son, you can tell them, I squeak. I walk through the floors of Parliament, and the guards have told me, Madame May, you cannot sneak up on anyone. Because this is a part they don't use anymore because it squeaks. It goes some days like a chirping grasshopper, other days like a really bad squeaky screen door. I'm not kidding you. Some of you know this is true. My daughter said to me, Mummy, you are to Stephen Harper as the crocodile was to Captain Hook. Only you go squeak, squeak, and he went tick-tock. But never mind. Some of the other leaders, in fact, may have artificial parts. They just haven't admitted it. So we're not sure. I mean, I don't know for sure about Stephen Harper's hair. And I'm also not sure about what the hell the Liberals have done to Justin's hair. What the hell? We need a global movement for the liberation of curls. Who decided that it was important to lacquer them down? And I don't know about what other artificial parts. I'm not going to go into Tom Mulcair because it's not fair. Because I think he's going to be perfecting his Rachel Notley imitation, which may involve losing facial hair. But the thing about it is, I really did mean me, because what about me is not like the others? Lequel de celles-ci, c'est pas comme des autres. Évidemment, je suis une femme. I'm the only girl on the leader team. I'm the only woman running. I mean, I don't believe in running for prime minister because our parliamentary system of Westminster parliamentary democracy means all MPs are equal and none of us are elected to be dictator. Sorry, Stephen. The thing is, our parliamentary democracy is all of us are equal. But the thing is, I'm the only woman party leader, and I know what men immediately think. Because the poor boys, they really bought into Freud. That whole sexual maturation thing on the Freudian scale, that we go from the oral, I'm not going to eat the mic, into the anal, God, I don't want to think about it, or the genital. Guys get stuck on this Freudian stuff, so they immediately assume that I'm envious of the things the boys have that I don't have. They assume that I suffer from classical Freudian debate envy. But I no longer do. Praise the Lord, free at last. I am not suffering from debate envy because, thanks to a few of the boys, I get to be in the debates. Yes, it will be fun. I'm looking forward to it. and I am happy to say we are all equal and we get to participate as equals. So that's that on that. But you know what? I have a completely deranged and there is no sequitur. This is a non sequitur. Do you guys ever wake up with old theme songs from former black and white TV shows that you never thought your kids would ever see, and they're running through your head? Like every now and then I wake up thinking about, Lisa, you've got to wait. Lisa, I wake up thinking about a horse is a horse, of course, of course. This morning I wake up thinking this. Why am I thinking this? Do you guys wonder?
Liz,
Hang on.
we wonder why you're thinking that too, but you know what?
Wait, you know what? Do you guys remember the theme song? Welcome back. Who knew Cotter was spelled K-H-A-D-R? Welcome back, Omer Cotter. It matters to say it. Welcome back, Omer Cotter. You're home.
Does it strike you as unusual? I didn't use up my time. No, you didn't. There's a lot unusual about your speech, Liz, but we're going to take off now.
Omer Cotter, you got more class than the whole fucking cabinet. Thank you.
We're going to wrap it up right there, everybody. My name's Aaron. This is Kennedy and Looney. So like, share, subscribe, get notified, all that fun stuff. We do a live show here every day. Come and check out one of the live broadcast streams. It is a lot of fun. Our chat room is amazing. Anyhow, Aaron, Kennedy and Looney, like, subscribe, share, get notified. We'll check you next video. Thank you very much for watching this one. Everyone has an opinion about Canadian federal politics.
Oh, yeah.